President Trump is heading back to the campaign trail next week. The president will hold a rally in Florida Monday night, and he's also expected to hold an event at the White House on Saturday where he'll talk about law and order. These are some of the president's first public events since being diagnosed with COVID-19. His doctor says that the president has completed his course of therapy, but it's still unclear at this point if Mr. Trump has in fact tested negative for the virus since first being diagnosed. Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan joins me now for a bit more. Margaret, how could we be seeing President Trump and his campaign try to make up some lost time with Election Day a little less than a month away? And it seems like the president feels like he has to do that by meeting with people in person.
Well, the president really lives for those rallies, and he has planned one, according to his campaign, in Sanford, Florida for Monday. Ahead of that, we'll also see the president publicly tomorrow afternoon from the White House in what's not officially being called a campaign event, but these days, this close to the election, virtually everything is. The president clearly wants to be back in the public eye. He's been calling into radio shows for extended interviews. He's been on Fox News a number of times. He's got another interview there. So he's clearly trying to get himself back into the public space and talked about at a time when a number of polls, including CBS's own battleground tracker, showed Joe Biden leading in a number of key states that really decide the outcome of the election. So there's reason for the president, while he is quarantining, to be concerned. And so you can imagine that he's eager to get back out there. But of course, his own health is a very real matter, given that he's battling a very serious illness, and he could potentially still be remaining contagious. We know and have just found out this afternoon that individuals who attended some of his campaign events at the end of September have been testing positive and some even hospitalized.
Well, President Trump has called an antibody cocktail that he took for COVID-19 a cure. It's made by the pharmaceutical company Regeneron, and you're going to be speaking with the Regeneron CEO on this week's Face the Nation. Tell us a little bit more about whether this treatment is something that could, in fact, be available to other Americans fighting the virus anytime in the near future.
Well, the president continues to promise it will be and that it'll be free. But what has to happen for everyday people to receive it is that the FDA has to be assured that it is safe. As an experimental treatment, it was made available to the president because of who he is. And they are right now looking at the FDA at issuing an emergency use authorization that would allow for it to be used in specialized settings like hospitals for those who are quite ill with COVID-19. So we are still talking about very serious cases being treated with this rather than sort of widespread distribution of the drug as the president starts characterizing it. We'll talk to the Regeneron CEO about this antibody, these monoclonal antibodies that work against the virus, how many doses are needed, how much is available right now in terms of supply. Dr. Tony Fauci told CBS's Stephen Portnoy today that he still wasn't sure how much. He thought there were only hundreds of thousands of doses perhaps available. And so given that we know the president had to go through multiple days of treatment, it's not clear what's actually required to be effective. So it's tough to answer that question of whether and when it could really truly be widespread. That's what we're hoping the Regeneron CEO will enlighten us with.
You also have a couple of other high-profile guests scheduled for this weekend. Tell our viewers, Margaret, what else can we expect to see on your show this Sunday?
Well, we are very close to the election. We'll be speaking to the chairwoman of the Republican National Committee, Ronna McDaniel, who is going to be joining us from her own quarantine because she has been infected with COVID-19. Right. She'll be joining us from her home in Michigan, where she is recovering. We want to talk to her about a number of these Trump campaign events that we now know in Minnesota, in New Jersey, for example, where the president met with in a roundtable setting with supporters when he was infectious. We want to find out how some of their supporters are actually faring, given that this is a very real health risk. We want to talk to her about the battlefield itself. We'll have a big Biden supporter as well. Governor of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer, will join us. She's clearly made some news herself, given the FBI arrest and charging of 13 men as part of a militia. 6 of them plan to kidnap her. All of this because of what has become a lightning rod political issue in her state, which is her decisions to put restrictions on businesses due to COVID-19. It became this debate over civil liberties, and clearly was taken very much to the extreme by this militia. We want to talk about that and whether there is more of a threat in this country. And as I mentioned, the Regeneron CEO and Dr. Scott Gottlieb will also be with us.
All right, Margaret, sounds like a great show. Margaret Brennan, thank you. For a deeper look into what's happening in Washington, you can stream Face the Nation every Sunday. It airs at 10:30 a.m. on CBS and at 1 p.m. as well as 4 p.m. Eastern right here on CBSN.